Sally Walker here, your hormone and slow age expert. So I've been mulling a little bit here the last, for quite some time really. But today I sat down and I put all my thoughts down on a piece of paper, had a little look around the internet to gather some sort of more science-based information. So what I'm talking about here is actually the doses of estrogen for the pre or the perimenopause, but mostly postmenopausal ladies, So where are we at? Because I worry, I am a little bit concerned that many ladies are actually getting too much estrogen. We love estrogen. It is such an important hormone. It does amazing things for us, but we need to be careful about getting too much of it, okay? And the only way you're going to know if you are getting the appropriate amount of your estrogen replacement therapy is by testing and using blood testing. You could use urine as well, but we'll say blood testing for the time being. So, and this is pretty much impossible when we go to docs because they are not classically measuring our estrogen levels, not even before menopause for that matter. So it's not being done, and that means we're not either collecting statistics, so we're not really seeing where the levels are. So I have these concerns because we don't want to have too much estrogen because there are the negative side effects of having it. I mean, even just the unpleasant symptoms like breast tenderness or maybe getting headaches, etc., which you wouldn't necessarily get if you were on a lower dose. So the other thing I was thinking about is that in our fertile years, we do produce copious amounts of estrogen, but it's in cycles. We don't have a constant level of estrogen. We have a very high production of it in the follicle phase, if you like. So in the phase where we're getting the egg ready and just up to ovulation, it can be very high there. Then it drops radically when we have the ovulation, and then it comes up again in that luteal phase, but never as high as it is just up to ovulation. And then the estrogen will drop again if the egg doesn't get fertilized, and then we'll be back to lower levels again until we start that follicle phase again. And then during pregnancy, it is maintained, obviously. The estradiol is maintained very high levels. We need to have the proliferation activity. We need to have activated the cell division, which estrogen is very good at, or estradiol is very good at. But we also have a production of another very nice little estrogen called estriol, which actually possibly has a calming effect on the estradiol. It's a blocking effect for it. So we get a bit of a control in those 9 months. So we don't have constant high levels of estradiol. So I worry a little bit, so let me just get this absolutely clear. I love estrogen. I use estrogen, and I do believe that every lady should be using estrogen, possibly perimenopause, but definitely postmenopausal. I think that life is going to function much better for yourself and for everybody around you, for your health and your strength, etc. Estrogen is amazingly important, but as I said, and I'm going to keep saying this, I worry. We need to test. So I looked a little bit about, what are the levels, what should we be aiming for? Is there any information there, etc.? So what I did find was information related to bone densities or related to osteoporosis, and I have some numbers, so I'm just going to have those in front of me because my memory, I'm 67 people, so my memory is not as good as it was, even though I am using the estrogen. Yay! So the evidence for levels of estradiol are around 0.20 nanomoles per litre, which is 200 picomoles a litre if you're working with picomoles, we in Europe use the nanomoles. So if you have levels around there, then this is generally accepted that you will have a protection, your bones will have a protection. And then there are some studies suggesting that levels around the lower luteal phase, so remember what I said, that estrogen or estradiol is mass produced in the follicle phase and is exceedingly high there just before ovulation, drops, and then it creeps up again in the luteal phase, sort of somewhere around maybe day 18, 19, and begins to increase again. And so we're looking at, apparently, the studies are showing that if ladies have a level which is in the lower part of that luteal range, so having levels of estrogen somewhere between 0.25 and 0.70 nanomoles per litre, or 250 and 750 picomoles a litre, this should be sort of a good place to be. This is seen as healthy. And studies are suggesting you don't want to go above 800 picomoles or 0.80 nanomoles, okay? So we're getting some data. It's not, I don't believe it's enough, but we're getting some data. So now go to the doctor and get it tested. Good luck with that. So why then are docs not testing? So this is a ridiculous thing. So why are the docs not testing? Because routine blood testing is not recommended when you're taking HRT. You know, I don't know of any other treatment which is not going to be monitored. So if you're taking insulin or if you're taking thyroid hormones, you're monitored. You're monitored. Initially, you're monitored quite a lot, so you get the levels right. And then you'll be monitored every year to make sure that you're still within the good range, etc. But not with estrogen or not with HRT. I really don't understand. So I started looking into, well, why are we not testing this? So they're saying, well, it could be prone to error. So the estradiol levels could be prone to error because of the way the estrogen is being administered, and it doesn't seem to make any difference if it's going through the skin or it's going through your mouth and towards your liver, because everyone is different. So your skin is going to be different. So the absorption through the skin will be different from lady to lady. Your liver function is going to be different from person to person as well. So how much estrogen gets into your system is going to vary. So they're saying this is why we don't measure. But I would say that's absolutely the reason why you want to measure, because you'll be put on some kind of standard dose, patches, maybe 25 micrograms, maybe 50 micrograms, or if your symptoms aren't getting better, we'll put you up to 100 micrograms. Well, if we then test and discover that you actually don't absorb very well, you're going to need the 100 micrograms because it's going to bring you up to the level we say is acceptable in your blood. But if you're on the 100 micrograms and your levels of estradiol are really higher outside the range, then potentially this could be a little bit dangerous for you. And I worry, because we're not testing. Yeah. So how can that be, Sally? I'm sort of relating things to my symptoms, and I'm up on 100 milligrams, and I had a blood test done, and it's saying that I've got very high levels of estrogen, but I still have these symptoms. Well, then, ladies, you want to look at your life. Because maybe there are some other hormones that are out of balance, so you want to look at how you're living your life, because whether you're taking estrogen replacement therapy or not makes no difference. You will never be that woman you were. You're never going to be producing these copious amounts of estrogen that you were doing in your menstrual cycle, which was really enormously high, in little cycles, So as I said, it wasn't constantly this high level. We had very highs and then we had low and all this kind of thing. And that's what we were used to from when we go puberty until we go menopause, yeah? But you're never going to replace all that estrogen. So you're never going to be that woman you were. And that woman you were, well, she was amazing, absolutely, because she was a multitasker. She could, make sure everyone and everything was functioning, was perfect. She loved it. She had all these balls. She was juggling. She loved everything about being that woman, which is all to do with estrogen. And then as estrogen starts declining, that woman disappears. And the only person that is important for that woman in the next chapter of her life is herself. And we need to get used to this. We need to adjust to this. We need to respect the fact that having lower levels of estrogen, you are going to be a different woman. But this new woman, it doesn't have to be you know, a poor substitute, this new woman is going to be amazing. So I like the Chinese philosophy here because I think their picture is amazing here. So they say that in your fertile years, all your energy is going to your uterus. And then they say when you get to the age of 49, and they're very specific, 49, all the energy that was in your uterus moves and it goes to your heart. So that means your uterus energy, your mummy energy is gone. You can't mummy anything anymore, really. But your energy goes to your heart. So emotions like passion, like love, so you need to start, you know, doing things in your life that give you passion. You want to hear yourself saying the word, gosh, I love doing this. Because if you love doing this, and I love what I do, I absolutely do. I thrive. I'm so passionate about this, and this is why I worry. Yes. So, So I just need to get this off my chest, actually. Basically, that's what it's all about. Be wary, ladies. Insist on having your blood levels of estradiol checked, you know. And if you have to go private, go private. But you need to know because you don't want to have the high levels. You know, we're finally getting estrogen accepted again, so we don't want it to go wrong because we're all getting too much. We need some. We definitely need some. If you're not doing estrogen replacement therapy and you're approaching your menopause or you've just gone past your menopause, then talk to somebody, talk to me if you like to, about how you get going with the estrogen because it is so very, very important. Anyway, I've written an article about this as well. It will be coming up on my webpage at one point, so be sure to check that out as well. And I think I'm going to put this up on Facebook or Instagram or something because it is such an important message. Anyway, find your passion, ladies, which may mean that you will need less estrogen or the estrogen you're taking is going to be enough. Happy hormones, happy life.